Over the past 5 days, we drove across 11 states, 2,000 miles, stopped at 4 theme parks to deliver Kingdaka to the National Roller Coaster Museum. And today, I'm gonna answer all of your questions. I asked my entire audience across YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok all the questions they had about this trip or the museum. And I got the most questions I've ever been asked. So let's get started. Before we jump into things, this is Brian from the future here. I just wanted to say I almost scrapped this video because of just how grainy the footage came. However, I think this is a perfect example of the current state of the National Roller Coaster Museum. Even though they have this amazing collection of roller coasters, there's not even the proper lighting to get beautiful photo and video. Unlike most museums, this one doesn't get government funding and solely relies on donations and volunteers. This museum still has a long way to go, and later in this video, we talked to Chris Roberry of marketing with the museum to share a little bit more of an inside look as to what's going on with this museum and why it hasn't been open to the public, hopefully to debunk some of the myths of this roller coaster. How did you like working with a scam organization like the Roller Coaster Museum, which is basically a private collection in a warehouse that tricks parks into sending old rides in exchange for what I'm guessing is a tax write-off? QW Hurley asks, hardest part of the journey. Honestly, the hardest part of the journey was really just driving really long distances, and I didn't even do that. I sat in the passenger seat and queued up songs on Spotify. So shout out to my dad and Scott and Darius and Phil, who did a lot of the driving, especially Darius and Phil, who drove the truck. And that perfectly segues into the next question. Mads 2.0 asks, how did I get the job of bringing Ka to Texas? The story kind of goes way back, and I remember it like it was yesterday. 2 days after my dad's birthday in April, Chris Roberry sends me a message on LinkedIn of all places, asking me to come out to the event. I said, for what? It's not an easy trip to get from my house in Florida all the way out here to Texas. So I wanted to make sure my time was well spent. That's where he sent me a picture of Kingdaka's train. I told him, not only did I want to go to the event, I want to film it. He was a little hesitant at first, but he warmed up to the idea. And then it was just a matter of wrangling up a group of volunteers crazy enough to drive Kingdaka all the way from New Jersey to Texas. He did a good job at finding that group of crazy. GiraffeCon asks, how did you get the train? First of all, shout out to Six Flags for this, because the days prior to it, which was 4th of July weekend, keep in mind, a Penske truck was brought onto Six Flags property. Six Flags got the roller coaster train, loaded the truck, and I will never forget that morning, lifting up the gate, stepping foot into the truck, and seeing the actual ride vehicle right there in front of me. It was all tarped up. It didn't look like this, but we couldn't even contain ourselves. We ripped open the tarp, saw the front train, and it was insane. Dylan Young asks, for those who have ridden Kingdaka, what was your best ride on and is it better than Top Thrill Dragster? I never rode Top Thrill Dragster. Scott, come here. You rode Top Thrill Dragster, right?
You guys do.
Here, sit down. Yeah. And then you know.
Dude,
you know how this goes, right?
No, I don't.
This is
I
like
don't want to do it this time. I told you after last time that was it.
Oh, this is great.
Dude, no, it's not great. This is awful.
Your thigh is so cushiony. It's so nice.
Okay, what's the question?
For those that have ridden Kingdaka, what's your best ride on it, and was it better than Top Thrill Dragster?
Best ride at Kingdaka. So
A lot of good rides at Kingdaka, but honestly, like I've always been a dragster guy. I'm sorry, Kingdaka fans. Like between the lap bars, Cedar Point, being on the peninsula, going over the top, and you're surrounded by water, surrounded by roller coasters. Like just the visuals are better. It ran smoother. The launch was better. It was like a more smooth, sustained launch versus like Kingdaka kind of feels like it ramps up.
I also really liked Kingdaka. I never rode Dragster.
You missed out, man.
Yeah.
But no, Kingdaka's
Is
great.
me sitting on your lap a top thrill for you as well?
Could we be done? Could we be done?
One more question. Lasagna asks, which launch would you say is better, an air compressed launch or a hydraulic launch?
I've ridden like the original Hypersonic XLC. I've ridden Max Force of Great America, and those launches, I mean, they're so snappy and quick, but they're almost too fast. Like my favorite launch of all time was Top Thrill Dragster's launch, and it was fast enough to let you know how fast it's going and the intensity, and you feel like you literally feel it in your gut the same way you feel a compressed air launch, but you have that feeling that's sustained longer because it's not as fast. With what's left of the hydraulic launches, I would take like Max Force's launch over any launch that's out there. You know, when Dragster and Ka were around, I would take those launches over a compressed air.
Do you want to feel a compressed air launch?
Oh, geez, come on, can we be done? No, you better not, dude. Stop pushing. It smells. Can we go? Can we be done?
Yeah.
We never do this again?
Yeah. I can't promise that last one.
Thanks, man.
Pretty Odd asks, is Texas forever? Yes. Yes, it is.
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, it's a Pierce the Veil reference.
Oh, okay.
I really like that band. Maverick asks, what's my number one? My number one is still The Voyage at Holiday World. It's been that for a while. I don't think anything can dethrone it. Kingdaka sits at number 9 in my top 24 rankings. What are you doing?
Oh my god! That was genuine!
Sarah Spam asks, kind of random, but what's your favorite Starbucks drink? Pretty much any drink that's this color, I love. It's great. Big fan of that. BH Thrills, are you going to any parks in Texas after the delivery? We really wanted to go to Six Flags over Texas, but I'm really excited because once I pack up this table, we're packing our bags and we're going up to Amarillo, a small theme park called Wonderland.
I have never been so scared of a ride, honestly, in my entire God. Oh,
I feel so safe in your legs.
Oh, don't ever say that again.
SkyGuy12 Turn asks, opinions on Frontier City. Do you think it's the next Six Flags park to close? I hate even thinking about Six Flags parks closing, or just parks in general closing, because it's always a sad thing. And I think there's a big need and importance for small local parks to really tap into their communities. I think the park is phenomenal, and it has some sleeper hits of rides. Silver Bullet and Diamondback are two classic roller coasters that deliver a crazy thrill and pack a crazy punch. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Frontier City is only operated by Six Flags, not owned by Six Flags. I don't know what that would mean for the long-term situation of Frontier City. Meow Meow George Cat asks, what's a top bucket list coaster? Definitely after riding Time Traveler again, Ride to Happiness is up there. X2 looks amazing. I need to get back on Accelerator. It would have been Montezuma's Revenge, but that doesn't look like it. Theme Park Hunting asks, oh, I can't answer those. This is a family-friendly channel. Come on, keep the questions PG, please. Theme Park Hunting asks, Scott, do you hate Brian? That's a good question.
I hate Brian.
Theme Park Hunting also just uploaded this photo of Scott. Not a question. We got a couple people asking this. What is my top bucket list park? Definitely Phantasialand. It looks like so amazing. Aside from that, Cedar Point is definitely up there. Many Me 1637 asks, what's my favorite state for roller coasters? I mean, growing up in California, I'm a little biased to California, but I also haven't ridden most of those coasters due to being afraid of it. So I think I just gotta by default say Florida. There's so much there with the Disney parks, the Universal parks. It's kind of impossible to really compete with that. All right. Colin, if you want to come here, I got your stool, and we got some questions for you.
Sit on a real seat. This is awesome.
It's a lot better than that seat, right?
It's definitely different. That's for sure.
It's a seat.
It's a seat. I'll take it.
Jersey Shore asks, what's your favorite roller coaster at Great Adventure and water slide at Hurricane Harbor? I haven't been to Hurricane Harbor at all, and my favorite roller coaster at Great Adventure is behind us. Not counting that, it's probably Nitro. I think El Toro is overrated.
I don't think I've ever disagreed with you so much in my life. Wow. El Toro is the best wooden coaster, in my opinion. So that'll always be my go-to. Even when Ka was there, it was the Ka-Toro duo, but Toro still prevails. And for Hurricane Harbor, I spent a lot of time there as a kid. So for me, it would be the slide that is no longer there, which was King Cobra. It was this really cool slide where it was a dueling slide, and then you got to this big chute. You went down and up into a snake's mouth, and then came back down. There were fangs that shot water out. Coolest thing ever. They couldn't keep it in Jersey, though. It's now in Mexico. But that was my go-to water slide.
Milk Cartonry asks, what's been your best memory from this journey and why?
And I think I might speak for you, too.
Yeah.
It was getting to sit in that seat one more time. And as soon as I sat down in that train, pulled the restraint down, buckled my seatbelt, all the memories flashed right back to me. And I got a little teary-eyed because I just couldn't believe I actually got the opportunity to sit in Kingdaka's train again. Let alone in this train, this car, which has so many memories for me, being the train I got my rollback in, the train I got my final rides in. It meant a lot.
I can't even beat that. Past times when I've done a video like this, I normally have my guests sitting on my lap, or I'll sit on their laps. To prevent that, I got a bar stool this time, and my buddy Chris from the National Roller Coaster Museum will be joining me.
How are you, sir?
How's it going?
Very good. Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun. Maddie Tay on Instagram asks, when will the museum be open to the public?
Simple answer is when we have the money to finish it. So we've kind of been doing it piecemeal as we've gotten the money to do it. We still have to turn it basically from the warehouse where we were storing the vehicles all these years into an actual full-fledged museum. So it's going to take quite a bit to be able to get to that point. But in the meantime, we're still going to keep offering opportunities for people to come out here and actually experience this, because it's not a private collection. It's the National Roller Coaster Museum. And we're going to get there. It's just going to take time.
Well, to follow up on that, Zero G Coasters asks, is there a planned opening date for the museum?
No, and the only reason is because we don't know when we're going to be able to raise the money to finish. We don't want to say, oh, it's going to be open in 2 years, and then have to roll to another year after that, another year after that, another year after that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you do have an event for this thing, right?
In fact, several events coming up this year. The first one is going to be called Back to the Museum. It's July 26th and 27th. 26th here, the 27th up at Wonderland Amarillo. You can get tickets still to this day, aceonline.org/events. Look for Back to the Museum, but you don't need to be an ACE member to register. Anybody can come from the public. We just got to get them to register because we got to know how much pizza we're going to order for you.
ATL Sloan asks,
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
I love that guy.
That guy.
How's the bar? It looks pretty bad.
It's really cool, actually, Sloan, because Larson built the cabinetry around it and gave that to the museum. But Fred Grubb from RMC is the one who built that bar by
So
himself.
the roller coaster manufacturer of some of my favorite rides, like Iron Gwazi, built that bar?
Yes. In fact, he actually put pieces of what would become Steel Vengeance into it. So those old steel pieces that are on the side, those are running rails from when it was a Mean Streak.
Wow.
It is.
The amount of history in this museum is insane.
It's like I was telling you earlier. It's like peeling an onion to see the different layers that you can see here. And each one makes you cry because you realize, oh man, I was on that coaster before. Or, hey, we're looking at Gwazi, or we're literally walking on it right now.
Yeah. Joe Thrills asks, what are some of the stuff we can find at the museum?
How long of a video do you have? We've got about 75 different ride vehicles from all manufacturers, with some exceptions because some haven't been retired. Water slide items from like Wet and Wild and the Black Hole back in the day.
Yeah.
Obviously Kingdaka right there, Montezuma's Revenge right next to us. Even the dark ride car from Dopey from Snow White's Scary Adventures at Disney World.
Yeah.
Had to think about that for a second, sorry.
It's insane. We're going to be doing a whole nother video going deep in depth about the museum. Subscribe and stay tuned for that one.
And like and comment too.
He's hip with the kids. He knows the lingo.
I'm not sus, yo.
Wow.
Leave that in. That's so amazing.
How did you like working with a scam organization like the Roller Coaster Museum, which is basically a private collection in a warehouse that tricks parks into sending old rides in exchange for what I'm guessing is a tax write-off? That's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question, and it's an unfortunate question because it's nothing but misinformation. The park could get a tax write-off for the scrap steel value of this, which at 5 cents on the pound is about $175. You could give away 4 tickets as comps and you'd get just as much of a tax write-off, if not more. It's a lot easier than donating this here. There is no scam about this. It's just a underfunded museum we're trying to build to save roller coaster history. Waiting for that museum check and private jet to come pick me up. Because it hasn't yet, because it doesn't exist. The whole board's a bunch of volunteers, and we rely solely on donations.
Yeah.
I don't get where like these conspiracy theories come about this. Come out to the museum on July 26th for Back to the Museum, and then see for yourself. Don't read and believe everything you see on the internet or Reddit or YouTube. Come see it for yourself.
And check out the Roller Coaster Museum's website. I'm going to put up a QR code here. You can read up on everything about the museum and see what they're all about right here on this website. This has been the #1 asked question. Everyone wants to know how this even happened or why we're even here. It's a great question. I feel like this has been going on for a while now.
We've been talking to the park for over half a year. I remember you coming up to me at IAPA and just sort of asking about it, and I was like, well, when it was basically seen that, okay, the ride's not going to make it, they reached out to us and said, hey, would you like a vehicle? And we said, absolutely. From there, I said, well, we want to document this. This ride's special. Like, this vehicle is really special. And I'm only one person, and I have a full-time job outside of this. I reached out to Zuder, and I reached out to Colin, and Colin and Darius said, we'll drive it.
Yeah.
Oh, great, because otherwise you guys would be chasing a semi, and that would have been done in 2 days, and that wouldn't have been fun at all, because you could have gone, where'd you go? You went to Uranus?
Yeah, it was really comfortable in Uranus.
Good to know.
It was also pretty comfortable at Hershey Park, Silver Dollar City, and Holiday World. Thank you so much to all the parks who helped us throughout this journey. It was awesome.
You guys, every park that helped us along this relay journey has been incredible. Starting with Great Adventure, like Brian said, it's really a team effort. You might only see the folks, on the videos doing this, but there's a whole bunch of other folks behind the scenes that make this possible.
Dr. Coaster asks, when are we riding Gwazi? How about right now? Let's go.